American society has become an us versus them society. This mindset is mainly fueled by the differences in race and political views. And when it comes to issues, a person either has to go with their group or risk being ridiculed if they side with the opposition. But in reality, just because someone is in a racial or political group doesn't mean that they have to believe everything that that group believes in. However, news media and American politics has made it impossible for there to be a middle ground between opposing views. So in this video, I'll look at American politics and news media in order to explain why the us versus them mentality is disruptive. With Democrats and Republicans having a hold in American politics, it has become easy to enforce the us versus them mentality. If you're black, you're pushed to become a Democrat, and if you choose to become a Republican, you'll be seen as a coon and a sellout. On the other hand, if you're white, you have to choose between being labeled as a racist Republican or a snowflake Democrat. But if you're smart enough, you'll know that those labels don't hold true for everyone in those groups. Every black Republican is not a sellout or a coon. Not all white Republicans are racist, and not all white Democrats are snowflakes. However, with the majority of the American people supporting only two political parties, it has become hard for most to see that. And news media hasn't made it any easier for them to understand that. The views news media put out are biased. They give people an outlet where they go to confirm their opinions and their hate towards the other side. And in turn, it makes it impossible for Americans to come to an understanding with people who hold opposing views. A debate with the other side becomes a destructive conversation instead of a constructive one. But hey, I don't blame news media like Fox News and CNN for pushing their biased political agendas. They just try to maintain their viewerships. They know it's easier for people to double down on their opinions instead of trying to understand the other side. But as a viewer, you should know that there's more than one side to a story. In order to see the whole picture, you have to look at all sides and you have to understand where others are coming from. So with that being said, you should not fall for the us versus them mentality. And if you do, you'll be easy to manipulate. You'll believe anything that your favorite news media put out. You'll suppress any views that goes against your group in fear of being ridiculed. And you'll hate people for no reason other than them believing in something different than you. And that's not how you should live your life, because people and issues are more complicated than the us versus them mentality and the news media makes them out to be. And you might ask me, how do I know this? And I'm going to ask you, how don't you know this? Just look at your life and the people around you. Do you really believe the same things as them just because they look like you and identify as the same as you? We're all different. We're all unique. Anyone could be your friend or enemy, regardless if they're in the same or different group as you. But we like to subscribe to this us versus them mentality and like to pretend that we're all the same or different solely based on our political views and our race. And look what that got us into. Joe Biden out here saying, oh, if you have a problem, figure out if you're for me or for Trump, then you ain't black. I ain't black. What you mean? I ain't know that I had to live up to your standards in order to claim my blackness. The hell? He was just trying to manipulate us because you know the majority of black people are Democrats. Anyways, what I really want to say is, I know it's easier to get things accomplished as a group, but you can't be surprised when others don't join that group. Some will have other methods to get in the same things accomplished. And that's a good thing, because it will make it harder for us to be manipulated. So when you see somebody with a different point of view, don't try to destroy. Just try to understand why they have that point of view. And maybe you'll learn something new.